Welcome to the crown jewel venue of these 2014 Sochi Paralympic Winter Games, Sheba Arena, where tonight thousands will feast their senses on an absolute ice sledge hockey classic. The Russians into the gold medal game, so now sports royalty, the number one seed world champion Canadians facing off with defending Paralympic gold medalist USA for the right to face the host Russians for the gold medal in here Saturday. Can you believe it's been 12 years since these two sledge sluggers have met in the Paralympics? 2002, the USA whopped them 5-1 on the way to gold in Salt Lake City. Of course, Canada's beaten the U.S. lately in the 2013 World Championships in the gold medal game, 1-0. So, I'm Tom Kirkland, getting ready to call this epic. Former GB team captain Brent Pope is in here with expert insight and analysis, and if you're not ready from either team or the fan base or as an observer or even a broadcaster, if you don't have some type of extra juice right now, then you're not really living.
Well, the thing is these teams know each other well, even though they haven't faced each other in a long time in the ice sledge hockey competition at the Paralympic Games. They keep tabs on each other for sure. They are neighbors, and they watch very closely, and they're well-balanced teams as they see each other now in a semifinal. Some might have thought they would have been the gold medal game, but one of these teams is going to be now playing for the bronze as a result of what's going to happen here in the next 45 minutes or more. Canada have been able to score more goals so far in this tournament, but both of them have been very stingy on their defense. Whether or not goals are going to be the determining factor here today, hard to tell in a one-off game. But the scoring and the depth with the Canadians has been certainly an advantage for them. But this here in 45 minutes, you look at Corbin Watson, who will get the start. He has not been scored on in this tournament as of yet. He's played twice, and this is game 4. Dixon has been a leading scorer from the blue line for Canada, and he's one to watch as well, number 11.
And for the U.S., Steve Cash in goal, the author of that incredible 322 minutes and change, the shutout streak that'll be not broken for a long, long time. That's consecutive minutes of shutout hockey here in the Paralympics. And the team captains, that's Andy Yohe for the U.S. and Greg Westlake, the best forward in the world, bar none, exchanging gifts and pleasantries, and that's the last time they'll be smiling at each other. And of course, Mike Mondin, the head coach of Team Canada, looking forward to this matchup.
Well, he wasn't the head coach, was he, Mondin, at the Paralympics? He was an assistant coach with the Canadian program at the time. This gentleman here is a legend, though, of U.S. hockey.
Oh, no doubt about it. Jeff Sauer, 31 years in NCAA college hockey in the U.S., 7th all-time with 655 wins, and he led Wisconsin to 2 national championships. And there is the goaltender you talked about, Corbin Watson, and boy, the nerves are flowing with him. And there is Steve Cash. His nickname is Money, and how could it not be with the kind of numbers he has put up? So much depending, and really the difference in the Russian game, the 2-1 loss, was a save that Cash made, and his teammate Brody Roybal got caught, and the sledge kicked it in.
Sometimes that's the challenge with ice sledge hockey, coming back to be able to defend in front of your goal. You talk about Cash, and he was the outstanding player and the goaltender of the Paralympic Games in Vancouver, and he's had an outstanding continuation leading up here to Sochi as well, and his numbers are very comparable. Although you look at the stats for Corbin Watson, he's got a shutout so far. It's only over the 2 games, and I'm not entirely sure whether that's a reflection of what we're going to see here today. I think the Americans can score on Corbin Watson. It's whether or not the Canadians can score a little bit more. And flip a coin between these two teams.
Yeah, of course, the U.S. bidding to become the first team to repeat as Paralympic ice sledge hockey gold medalists. And Canada is chasing its own chunk of history, looking to join the Olympic men's and women's ice hockey champions. There's never been a golden three-peat in these 3 sports. They had a chance in Vancouver, but the Canadian ice sledge hockey team came up short there. So away we go, and this is going to be an epic. That's what we're counting on, and the Russians are waiting in the gold medal game. Rico Roman and Billy Bridges face it off, and the Canadians with the first touch. Lewis gathers it in, back to center ice. Oh, and the early fan, and Westlake comes in, whistle's blown. Let's see what that's about. An attempt to clear, and nerves, certainly the case there, is I'm not sure whether that was Taylor Karen there, number 11, who fanned on it, but one of the Americans absolutely just whiffed on it, trying to get it out.
And quickly the official making the call, and he'll just reset it, and potentially an offside it looks like is will reset and start play again.
Okay, here we go, 19 Taylor Chase. And then the battle there, 23 is Rico Roman. What a story. The Bravo Delta line I'll tell you about as the game develops. 3 war veterans, and down this way comes Sweeney. This is the checking line, Sweeney. And Rico Roman, Sweeney rolling, unchecked, has his way as he goes all the way around, and the shot never gets through, well defended. The Canadians laying off a little bit. And there's Roman behind the goal, bumped off the play hard by Billy Bridges. Great two-way player, but it's dangerous early, right behind the Canadian goal, and then stolen away there. And Westlake along the side, another tremendous end-to-end. He's a captain, he's a scorer, but he plays both ends very, very well.
At the moment, the Americans, though, having control in the offensive zone.
Westlake now, and again, just flips it out. I thought he hadn't gotten enough on it, but it is enough to turn it in, and Roman back helping out, trying to clear it. Billy Bridges buzzing, and joining the play. They're defensemen who will do it throughout the game. These Canadian defenders are quick. Murray was there, and now the shot, and just past Cash. And there, and Karen lost control momentarily, and Taylor Chase gives chase. Sends it up the left board to Sweeney and the Bravo Delta line. Rico Roman giving chase down there. All 3 veterans, the war in Afghanistan, all 3 losing limbs to IEDs along the roadside, and it has helped bond that line. A tough as nails group as Kevin Rempel, a surprising offensive force for the Canadians, 6 points, one of the team leaders.
He's been great, has Rempel, on this line. As you look at the Rock, who has also been scoring, he's got 3 goals and an assist. Mondin, though, is the architect behind the bench. You're looking at Curtis Hunt on your screen. And there you see the instructions. That's Benoit Saint-Germain, number 22, the backup keeper, right involved, standing up and giving instructions to that Canadian bench as well.
Watch these guys go. Josh Pauls takes a hit, trying to get it out to number 4, Brody Roybal, who is all of 15 years old. His line mate, Declan Farmer, is 16. He scored the first goal of the Sochi Paralympics for the U.S. And right in front, a chance, and the back check pays off. There's Nico Larenderos, who sends it out. A chance for Canada, but there's Roybal. You see the burst from the 15-year-old. Steered off the play. Paul's now giving chase. Landeros one of the defensemen will always gamble in. Roybal has it, and it's Declan Farmer going high, and I'm not sure whether Watson got a piece of it. Cody Roybal, 2 goals in their win over Korea. Loses it there, and it's the U.S. still keeping it, dumping it back in behind Watson. Now the Canadians break out behind Adam Dixon. 6 points, he leads the tournament with 4 goals.
He's a real threat. He makes the play wide side. The Canadians just happy to dump it in and make a line change. And Westlake on it first, but Dixon is a real threat. He is the leading scorer for defensemen in this tournament. Number 11.
We talk about first goals being important, but especially in this matchup, because the U.S. really hasn't done much. They haven't been able to penetrate Corbin Watson. They shut them out at the World Championships, and that's going to be a long icing. Adam Page locking up there with Derek Whitson. So the first goal here, particularly if it's the U.S., I would imagine would really be a statement.
Of course it would. It's this game, not even 4 minutes gone yet. I think it's safe to say it's the most intense that I have seen all week in the competition. Neither team giving each other much quarter. As you watch this development from Farmer, and Farmer had some room, and he didn't quite have to make or force Watson to make the save. It may have just got a piece of him, but he had daylight across the body.
Sweet move by Bowden. He has a shot, a chance, but look at the help in front of Cash. And Nico Landeros with the giveaway, but more help in the form of Greg Shaw. And play stop.
It's just a hand pass in the offensive zone and the whistle being blown and a chance for both these teams to regroup. But we talked about the intensity so far, and it's exactly what we were expecting to see, that these teams would go right at each other. They push each other to play better, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They're getting the most out of each other right now, and whilst there's only been a couple opportunities, the best opportunity so far comes to the Americans.
Yeah, some of the pregame chatter, Billy Bridges said it'll be nothing short of a barn burner, that's for sure. I don't think there's a single Canadian who can't get up for a Canada-USA rivalry match. Joshua Pauls of the U.S. said whoever we play, it will be a blowout. He wasn't talking about a blowout score. He was talking about a tremendous opportunity and lots of fun. And then Greg Westlake says, I think they are not too pumped up about playing us first either. Two great teams. We've been waiting for this game a long time. Kind of too bad that they're meeting in the semis and that one of them will have to be playing for the bronze medal. A lot of people think that these are the silver and gold medal teams. And Brad Bowden says they're a great team. They work hard. They're fast, especially after what happened with Russia, losing 2-1 there. They're going to be hungry to come out against us and try to make a statement. I know in talking to you, you think that that loss to the Russians may actually feed the U.S. early in terms of motivation.
It sometimes does. I mean, there's emotional lows and peaks and valleys in any tournament, particularly a short one.
Oh, look in front, a chance! Declan Farmer with the wraparound, and they're all over Watson. Those two, Farmer and Roybal. Now there's Roybal behind the goal. He's got help in front. Oh, it's right behind where to go, and Watson lost it, and a backhand by Farmer. Look at the chances here. This young line, 15, 16, and 21, buzzing and just unchecked. Lofted high, the shot, chase, it's knocked down.
That's the most the Canadian defense have looked hassled and uncertain in their own zone.
Look at the work of Josh Paul. Gives it away. Back come the Canadians. This is going to be up and down with chances all over the place. Taylor Chase covers it, gives it back to Declan Farmer, but he wasn't ready to absorb it, and down they come. That'll go all the way down for an icing. Well, an energetic first 5.5 minutes to say the least. Let me catch my breath.
Well, how about the play of Brodie Roybal and Declan Farmer? 15 and 16 years of age, this little flipped over shot, trying to feed the defense, and that is a great shot as well. It's blocked as Taylor Chase, the assistant captain, but this backhand has forced Dixon to make another play, and Dixon was really unable to get that away safely as the continual forecheck from the Americans, but not only the forecheck, but the control when they had the puck.
Farmer collides with Delaney, another one of the stars for Canada, and unable to be cleared as Tyler Caron's attempt is knocked away. Now Declan Farmer wraps it all the way around the other way, and a big hit from little Brodie Roybal, the 15-year-old, and then the 16 follows up with the swat, and here they go. Could it be a 2-on-1? No. Back come the men in red. And we can expect this kind of action throughout.
Very confident play on the Canadian blue line there, because you have the on-rushing attack of two players, and if you don't make that perfectly, you're the last man.
Oh, there's a giveaway from Roybal, but it's gobbled up by Sweeney as the Americans send the Bravo Delta line out, and now Westlake, he is scary. If you're the goalkeeper, you don't want to see him with room to shoot the puck, but that was handled easily. And Steve Cash might just end up being the difference in this one. You hear them calling Nico Landeros. He sends it down. There's Sweeney. He takes the hit from Billy Bridges, and that rocked him. It was a clean hit. Americans set up very nicely. They'll send it in. Landeros whips it high. The follow-up Romans. Oh, and it's gobbled up masterfully by Corbin Watson.
You see him just kick that puck out, and Landeros is breathing down the neck of the Canadians right now. Corbin Watson has, as we say, a shutout going so far in this tournament, but he has had to play the best so far. He knows if the Americans score first, this could get to be a very difficult matchup for the Canadians to try and win. The Americans are a team that, with the wind at their back, they become that much more difficult to break down, and Watson right now standing tall.
Yes, you can feel it's not very loud there. There's thousands in there, but there's a tension. It'll be easier to cheer for one of these groups after their team scores. Everyone's gasping with each attempt. Now the Canadians break out with numbers, and here comes 7. Dorian lets it go, and Cash, so calm, knocks it into the corner. Landeros. And it goes awry. 20, gobbles it up. And down they come. Shot. A tricky one indeed that was. And the Canadians working their way back this way, and then it's poked back that way. And another icing.
Interesting to watch the Canadian defense on that play there for a while. It was a 2-on-1, and they were a little bit sort of slow in getting back into position as you watch the shot coming in here. And this is Mark Dorian, his 3rd Paralympic Games. And you often would think they're not looking dangerous in the position, and they just fire off the hip like gunslingers, as I've said before. And it is a real deceptive shot, and sometimes the goaltenders can't even see the release that the sledge is actually in the way.
Anthony Gale. Oh my goodness. US now having some trouble getting it out. The men in red, oh, they cannot keep it in. Greg Shaw doing good work, and then along the boards it's 9-on-9. That's Andy Yohe, the defender for the US, Anthony Gale, and it's tough sledding in there. Lots of hitting now as the puck is jammed up. Adam Page with 3 goals has really fueled the U.S. lately. And now, here we go, back the other way. And here comes a big chance. The shot, and it goes wide. Oh, what an opportunity for Billy Bridges, Canada's all-time leading scorer.
Bridges with the chance, as you mentioned, over 300 points in ice sledge hockey, and he comes in on catch with that chance to score the first goal, and he can't get it done.
Oh, that was close. He fired it wide, and again, that part of that is oh, and here comes the U.S. Farmer and Roybal, Declan Farmer, he shoots, and it's in! After the big chance down at the other end, back come the 15 and the 16-year-old, and Declan Farmer using his teammate, the 15-year-old Roybal, almost as a decoy, walked all the way around, had a clean shot, and it just barely trickles through Corbin Watson. The first goal Watson's given up, and the U.S. up early.
Well, how many times do you see that a chance at one end, that it was a glorious one that should be converted, allows the team to come back the other direction and to make a play. And it's going to be Farmer who finishes this one for USA, and such an important goal in a big game. And you see what it means to the Americans to get on the board first. And this will change the complexion of the game, and Bridges will be feeling difficult about it now.
That a bit of a soft goal, would you say?
But he should have, if he's got a bit ability to get his body on it, he'd like to have that one back.
Well, it appeared to go through the clothing somehow, through the arm and inner body. But it was just amazing how many times you see the big chance down at one end. They shoot it wide, and the U.S. comes right back down. And again, an absolutely humongous goal to put them up. This Canadian team, they haven't been in this position to see how they play, but they're so talented, it won't really get to them unless the U.S. gets the next one. Now the next one becomes just so important. There's Kevin Rempel banging up, and now it's over to Adam Dixon trying to get his 5th. Under 5 minutes. Paul Schaus, part of the Bravo Delta line for the USA, and now some room, and it's lofted out. Sweeney maneuvering, unable to get it deep. Nice play by the Canadian defenders, and Tyler McGregor came away with it momentarily, but the U.S. very impressed with their forecheck.
They've been very strong. This line of McGregor, Gale, and Delaney for Canada have been an energy line that have allowed them to get some possession and control in the offensive zone. Not so far today.
Paul Schaus knocks it away, and here's, an opportunity, but he could not keep it in. Taylor Chase had to let it go, and now the USA changes and sends it in. Under 4 to go now, right at 4 minutes, and a big hit there. Jars the puck loose as they try to find it. And now the US set up very nicely. Tyler Karen sends it deep. Taylor Chase bringing it around behind his own goal, looking around, and no red in sight, so he'll just walk it up. And Westlake is a scary sight, so talented. He can pick your pocket and put it behind your net before you know it. But the U.S. keeps possession. There's McKee giving it away to Bridges, a chance, and whoa, that was just ripped wide by Westlake. He can shoot it 80 miles an hour and maybe more, but maybe Steve Cash is in their head because they've really been trying to be so precise.
That was a great chance, as you mentioned, from Westlake. The feed from Bridges as they roll out of the corner, and the shot goes thumping wide. As we'll hear it again, Bridges just picks it up pretty easily to feed to Westlake, and Westlake's a long ways off, in fairness, as the body contact from the Americans fighting fire with fire, playing the Canadians at their own game, has been to their advantage so far.
Cash really not tested on 2 point-blank range shots. They haven't managed to put it on goal, and now little one deflected away. U.S. holding the 1-0 lead, under 3 minutes to go. And the Canadians give chase. Declan Farmer from Josh Pauls and Nico Landeros for Landeros. That is his 5th assist. Gambling defenseman. And there's a hit. And now Westlake, sets up his man, and here comes 18. He's going to let it rip, and there's Cash and a chance for a rebound, but Cash gobbled it up before Westlake could get to it. Westlake got a poke on Cash, and that's what the U.S. seems to be upset about.
Remember that save as we look back in this hockey game. Steve Cash has just denied Bridges, and the rebound then comes out to Westlake, who looked destined to score on that play. And Cash is able to leave his goal crease area to get ready to take away this second shot. There's the one by Bridges, but that one there by Westlake. And Westlake is just initially trying to chip that up and over him. He can't, as Cash closes the body down on him, and Westlake is being pushed out to safety away from the American goal. But that sequence there was as good an opportunity as the Canadians have had.
Yeah, Cash again has only given up 1 goal in this tournament. He lost 2-1 to Russia, but the other was an own goal. And here is the chance. You see Farmer walking in, and then actually uses Westlake as a bit of a buffer there and shot it right through Corbin Watson.
It's a great goal, but Watson, if he wants to get to the gold medal game, has got to play a little bit better than that. Yeah. And you're right, the timing of Farmer coming across and using the opportunity, and Watson then having to adjust his position. But those goals, those plays that end up burrowing through, that aren't clear decided ones where the will from the player actually forces it across the line, those are often an indication of a team who is going to try or going to get their own luck on the day.
Yep. Yeah, you expect these goalies are going to make splendid saves, but they also have to make the routine ones. And I think Farmer would tell you he was a little surprised that got through. And there is Steve Cash. What a performer he's been. How about 5 shutouts in Vancouver on the way to goal? Good way to get it done. Yeah. Dorian in the face-off circle, going up against his counterpart, Rico Roman. Up against the side. Sweeney takes a shot. Rempel puts it out. Landeros puts his body in front of it, tries to clear it. Taylor Chase giving chase, and there's a setup. The shot goes wide, and the rebound is gobbled up again. I think Cash stole another one.
And Rempel there, as the puck bounces behind the goal. Cash is committed on the near side. It bounces to the far side, and once again, Steve Cash is being the difference in this game so far. He's the reason why it's scoreless. The defensive play in front by Roman equally as important, but Cash is the one that sprawls back and prevents that from going across the American goal line.
Yeah, boy, what a lift. As the U.S. looks back, they know they have a hot goaltender.
And in a one-off game, that can be the difference.
No doubt. But you never know. Shots like that can be dangerous going through so many people and sledges and sticks. Under 2 minutes to go now. The U.S. with the goal, and the Canadians are certainly putting the heat on Steve Cash, but he stopped 2 point blank, and there's been 2 or 3 others that haven't gone on net when the Canadians had chances.
6 shots in total now for Canada to the 2 for the Americans.
Tyler Karen sends it down and through. Out in front. A little over a minute to go. U.S. forechecking feverishly now. Look at the move by Tyler Karen. Dipsy-do, and now he's in. Sends it in. Josh Pauls chases. This is the Declan Pauls and Roybal line that has been so effective. The kids, 21, 16, and 15. And then at the point, Taylor Chase keeps it in. The last minute, Declan Farmer. Oh, it's in! It is in! Up and over, and Watson is stunned.
And Farmer again, watch this play as he just shoots it on goal and tries his luck. And the luck is shining on him right now as his second of this semifinal. And Farmer, these youngsters are getting it done for the Americans. Watch here, just off the corner, and it's in the back of the net, and I don't even think Watson knows it's coming as it's high up in the Canadian goal. And how do you like me now as Farmer has done it again?
Farmer from Taylor Chase, and look at the normally reserved Jeff Sauer. A goal again in the last minute of a period. It's a killer. Cash has stolen a couple. And a chance here. Westlake buzzing as always, but the U.S. capitalizing on a shot that just, it looked harmless, but it was perfectly positioned. But the Canadians are pressing now with 30 seconds to go and a chance. U.S. just wants to get out of this period up 2-0. 3 shots on goal and 2 goals, and this is Sweeney, part of the Bravo Delta line. He spins. They're going to throw everything at Watson now because he is looking shaky. Westlake drawing tons of attention. He'll let it go, but it runs into other bodies, and there you go. End of the period, and the U.S. couldn't be happier.
There was a penalty on the play. The official, Paul Bowes, with his hand up, and we'll see exactly what he's going to call here now. As Canada had possession, and they weren't being, well, the whistle hadn't blown. I think it's going to come up against the Americans, and it is going to be
Taylor Chase is going to go for interference. And a tough call right at the end of the period. You didn't see much going on, and that will give the Canadians plenty to talk about in the locker room because they can jump right back in it with a power play goal. But the story, it's Steve Cash, and it's Declan Farmer and the kids, the 15-year-old Roybal, the 16-year-old Farmer, the 21-year-old Josh Pauls, and they're flying.
They certainly are. The second one is a real deflator for the Canadians because they're in decent shape and they've got Farmer on the outside, but he has a perfect shot, well placed, and you see the response in goal from Corbin Watson. And I'm not sure which one is more deflating. Him trying to make the effort on making the save and being beaten by it, or not even knowing that it was coming and it was up in the back of the net before he responded.
That was a goal that would have beaten almost any goalie in this tournament because it was perfectly placed. It was high, it was over his left shoulder, and again, I'm not sure, as you said, that he saw it. It looked like it was a clear or a pass. Next thing you know, you hear the clank of the puck hitting the frame behind him, and it was in. An incredible goal, the second of the game for Declan Farmer, and 2-0, the U.S. coming in here after the very difficult 2-1 loss to Russia put them in this position to face the very, very difficult Canadian team, a team they failed to score a goal on in the World Championships. But wow, just like that, it's 2-0. And as the Zamboni comes to clean things off, we'll step aside. Know this, Canada comes out in period number 2 with a man advantage for the first 2 minutes. 16-year-old Declan Farmer with both goals, and the United States coming out and jumping right on the top-seeded Canadians, and some anxious moments as the Canadians pressured Steve Cash, but he took away one or two excellent chances. So that was then. Now it's the men in red coming right out on a power play for 2 minutes as Taylor Chase sits out an end of the first period interference penalty. So a chance right away for the Canadians to steady their ship and get right back into it.
Well, it is, and they need it, don't they, as they're down 2-0. And the power play for Canada, they've been able to score in these games on the power play, but they haven't been potent on it, not like the Russians have been, as we look at the play late in this period. And that's the one, as the official calls it, and it's right in front of the American goal late, as I think it was Billy Bridges trying to go to the net, and Chase ends up taking him down. And that will start in its entirety because it happened right at 15 minutes. So a 2-minute power play for Canada, and they'll need to get in the offensive zone, and they'll need to try and elevate that puck on Cash and testing him with better shots, because they've had some good chances, but they haven't taken full advantage of those opportunities by getting a real solid shot in on goal.
Yeah, maybe get some people in front, create some havoc, maybe a poke in, a rebound. So Kevin Rempel, 6 points, 1 to watch. Anthony Gale, 6 points, 1 to watch. Adam Dixon, 6 points, including a tournament-leading 4 goals. In addition to the superstars, Brad Bowden, 306 points, all-time leading Canadian in sledge hockey. And then Billy Bridges, who's going to always be around. And then the captain, Greg Westlake, who is probably the best forward in all of ice sledge hockey around the world. So here it is, their chance. The checking line, Schaus and Pauls and Sweeney, and a good start for the U.S.
Westlake will play in the defensive positioning for the Canadians on the power play. As Bridges up front there, they've got Bowden, and on this near side, Rempel, and you'll see Dixon out there as well.
Yeah, and the U.S. has managed to get control, and they'll move it around. There goes Sweeney now. He'll have a chance to at least work more of the clock and maybe have a short-handed attempt here as he stick handles around. Doesn't go on net, but again, it's the men in red chasing the men in white.
He's so fast, isn't he, Sweeney? And he's monopolizing the attention of these Canadian forwards, having to play defense on their own power play.
There's 4-on-1 as Paul Schaus holds onto it, part of the Bravo Delta line. The war veterans from Afghanistan. Rico Roman is in that group. And this is just a perfect penalty kill.
Certainly is. They're playing defense in the offensive zone right now for the Americans, and Canada just getting himself out of their own zone and a minute gone.
Cash calmly leaves it for his defense, and Nico Landeros all the way around and down. So this is already a minute 20 burn.
It's really an example of speed killing, and speed in movement from the Americans, speed of thought, and speed of action.
Landeros again, and dumps it right back in behind Corbin Watson. So this early chance for the Canadians now has turned into more momentum for the U.S., unless they can do something in the final 15 seconds here. Westlake has great vision, a great assist man. Bridges takes a shot from Rico Roman, and Westlake is in, and a chance! And it was deflected, I think, off the post. Cash had a piece of it. And a chance again! The Canadians are buzzing, and that was Anthony Gale. As the U.S. appears totally out of control now, penalty over, Murray has it, and they withstand a barrage. I have to take a look to see exactly what portion of that was checked away. Here comes a breakaway. It's Roman. Oh, and he lost control, and I'm not sure what they're going to call on that. Roman, not used to being in that situation, not a goal scorer. He's a quintessential mucker. He's one of those guys whose job it is to go out and just chase the puck, but he's going to take a penalty as he runs into the goalie trying to chase down the puck. So, and then you see There's a great save from Cash and then off the post, I believe.
Unbelievable. That's exactly who the Canadians will have wanted in that position. As I think it was Bridges, was Gale having an opportunity, and Dixon goes off the shoulder of Cash, and then the point, and not off the post, and then you see it the other way, whereas Roman ends up getting a penalty on the play, but he was surprised. But who did he take the puck away from? He takes it away from Adam Dixon, and Adam Dixon has been airtight in possession for the Canadians, and he loses it and allows a breakaway.
Oh, the worst of all worlds for the U.S. Rico Roman breaks in uncontested, had a chance to make it 3-0, and instead gets no shot off, rams into the goalie, and now they're down a man for another minute 45 now. The Canadians, and a giveaway. Sweeney, great work with the left stick to steal it, and that'll gas another 15 or 20 seconds, and the Canadians have numbers now. They break out, Sweeney trying to get back into it. He's giving chase, and it's left out, and it's tipped away and forward. The U.S. just seems to have everything covered.
They do, and I'm not sure it's to the Canadians' advantage to actually set up and try to get a formation on this power play, because the Americans are too quick and they're responding. What happens is you set up and you slow down. The Americans are not slowing down this penalty kill. They are sensing out every loose puck. They are anticipating every play, and with having the opportunity to generate speed and to play the game at a higher tempo, when the Canadians, even though they have the man advantage, are slowing down, they're slowing down in speed of thought, movement, and action, and that's the difference right now.
Yeah, it's just all over the ice. You see the U.S. contesting everything, and that raw speed is paying off. And now Farmer, Roybal, and their other youngster, Josh Pauls, the 21-year-old. Landeros is in there. The back-to-back power plays for the Canadians to start period number 2, and a chance. Let's see what they can do here. Brad Bowden, and it's stolen by another 27, Pauls. And here's a shot, a chance. He lets it go, and Cash with the save. Rimple trying to gobble it up. Under a minute to go. The Canadians are just buzzing, but again, the U.S. manages, thanks to Cash, keep it out of his net, and they clear it.
Well, everything about that shift for me was epitomized in Bowden winning the faceoff, taking off towards the American goal, and Pauls matching him every single stride of the way.
And Pauls again going into the corner, takes the body, 27 colliding. Bowden loses that one. Landeros comes away with it. 20 seconds left. The Canadians keep it in. They have had everything they wanted on this power play, and the chance now for Westlake. Rips it, but wide again. This is a classic goal scorer, and he can't get it on net. And now they dump it in front, and here we go. It's off the wall, and it's an opportunity, so Corbin Watson's gonna have to come way out. Rico Roman out of the box, even strength, and the Canadians have numbers again. Bowden walking in. Eventually, he shoots it, and where's the puck? It's knocked down by Declan Farmer. Who else? 2 goals and a great defensive play there, and Farmer pokes it forward, so Watson's gonna have to, what's Watson gonna do? He's gonna have to let Farmer go get it, and look at, can he get free? That's a chance in front, and there it is! Declan Farmer to his line mate, Josh Pauls, 16 to number 21, the 21-year-old, and youth is being served in spades for the U.S., and it's just a blowout.
Josh Pauls is the recipient of all the work of Farmer, and Farmer up early in the morning, and again putting it in the back of the barn late at night. It's Josh Pauls this time, as the Americans are working at both ends of the rink better than the Canadians at the moment.
Pauls with a goal and an assist, Farmer 2 goals and that assist, Landeros with an assist. And it was interesting, Josh Pauls went body to body with Brad Bowden on a couple of shifts in the penalty kill, and he came away the better, and then he is rewarded for his defensive work on the other end, and the U.S. buzzing again. I mean, I don't think anybody saw this.
It's a surprise, isn't it? Since both of these teams are so well matched, and for the Canadians, who had been relatively uncontested to the group stages, to be in this position right now, down 3-0, is definitely what they weren't planning before the game. But can they respond? They've had chances, but they've been sloppy. And the Americans have been so clinical in taking their chances, it becomes very intimidating to play against a team that is so resourceful and effective and efficient as the Americans are right now.
Yeah, and keep in mind the Canadians, 16 of the 17 players that won the World Championships are still aboard. I mean, this team is veteran and they know each other well, but maybe not tested enough in group play. And the U.S. certainly looks like the Russians got them going, woke them up. U.S. only 4 shots and they have 3 goals. And now another chance right in front. There's a scrum. Where's the puck? Where is it? The referee not blowing the whistle because he can't find it either. And that's Bowden coming away with it. Certainly the Canadians have the firepower to get back in this, make no mistake. But they're going to have to put one by Steve Cash pretty soon.
Well, there's a play by Westlake who makes a nifty one-on-one move, but he needs to advance the puck to his line mate.
Bowden sends it up and over and around, and there's Westlake. He'll be chased by Shaws, who takes the body, takes it away, and just grabs it out. They kept it in, though. A good piece of work by the Canadians along the blue line. Sweeney tying it up right there, tying his man up. Taylor Chase is involved. Rico Roman is now chasing the puck as Steve Arsenault is circling around. The U.S. certainly energized by the 3 goals. That will give you some adrenaline, won't it?
Certainly will, and it's so much easier to play, obviously, with the lead. It's so much easier to play with everything that you're trying to achieve being successful for you. And for right now, the Canadians, they can't get any success.
But they have numbers in front. Oh, and there was a big chance. And 25, big James Gemmell actually got a piece of cash as he went by. The official didn't see it. Anything they can do to try to upset the mind of the goaltender, who is right now in a zone. McKee gives it away, and a big hit there as number 9, Andy Yohe, comes flying in. And there's Roman with some body work along the side. Dorian going up against Kevin McKee and Rico Roman. And they'll play on, and here comes Yohe and takes a run at 5. And Rumpel's in front, but there's always the American there, and they manage to clear it out of the zone. And now sort of anybody's puck is mid-ice, and now it's sent down, and you see 23 Roman couldn't probably touch it. He was coming off on a line change, and the U.S. will gladly take the icing after the flurry of the last couple of minutes.
Something else, the action of this one, and it's inspired play from the Americans without doubt. You don't get a 3-0 lead against the Canadians unless you're playing extremely well. But what they're doing even better than their execution, I think they're playing with a better emotional energy from top to bottom. And every single one of these Americans has got their shovel in the ground and they're digging away. And they've got their work gloves on today. You know, it's not a pretty performance. They are taking their chances, but you look at the play by Farmer. To hunt that puck down all the way, and I'm not sure whether the Canadians just gave up on it in the end, but this is the first one from Farmer, who ends up just forcing it through the body of Corbin Watson, and that starts the bleeding. This one here, well, this is when the wound is wide open. To have taken that opportunity and made full advantage of it. And the last one here, this is just putting salt in the wound. To just beat the Canadians down the ice on their own power play, or just coming to the end of it. And then this finish here by Pauls, and Corbin Watson again not looking quite strong enough in the Canadian goal.
Certainly Declan Farmer has been the best player on the ice here this evening. 6 minutes and change. Second period, 3-0 U.S. And there's Brody Roybal, 15 years old. He and Pauls engaged. There's Adam Dixon there as well for the Canadians. And they're just, everybody frustrated trying to get a stick on it. There's Nico Landeros, and boy, has he been pressing the action throughout this tournament. Here he comes again, and they have numbers. Sets up Pauls. That goes awry. Declan Farmer, look out. You don't want him with the puck if you're the Canadians. Brody Roybal with a shot. Oh, and ticked away maybe with the blocker. Landeros gobbles it up, goes off the wall and all the way back. You see Pauls is just flying. Look at him. Westlake with a nice, deft little lead out there for that man, Billy Bridges. But again, it's all numbers. 4 white shirts.
You see the way the Americans come back, and they came back like it was the last time they were ever going to play ice sledge hockey. And that's the difference. The intensity right now from the Americans, they're playing defense at both ends, every single player. Right now, it's only the Canadians who are being asked, the defensemen, to be playing defense. The forwards are looking for a chance to go and create offense, but unless you come back and get the puck as a 5-man unit, you're stretching yourselves out, and it becomes a huge gulf between the forwards and the defense.
Oh, and a hit there. U.S. starting to take the body as well. Landeros will feel the pressure of Anthony Gale, and here's an opportunity. They're looking for anything to get past Cash. Tyler McGregor trying to make his presence felt. They're set up now. Finally an opportunity. Puck left there. And a chance in front, and now that goes behind the net. Derek Whitson. Haven't called his name often. And again, the inability to cleanly field it and keep it moving. And there is 9, Andy Yohe. He has it. He waits for everybody to clear, goes off the wall, and unless this is on goal, it's going to be an icing, but it is on goal. And there is Schaus chasing. So much pressure on these Canadians at every moment, and a giveaway, and Yohe comes back, and Westlake turns away. A nice hit there by Kevin McKee. Under 4 minutes to go, 3-0, and oh, that was a dicey little shot that Cash made look pretty easy. Westlake off the boards to himself and finds himself with a chance, and he's immediately attacked and hit. Shot goes high and wide, and Whitson again. Schaus giving chase. It's right in front, and let's see what Bridges can do. Bridges unable to get much going, and the Canadians liking what's going on now. They've tilted the ice back down in the American way now. Off the wall. How will this be played? Whitson lets it go. Chance, a chance, and a save. Cash playing the angles perfectly. And there's a penalty, and could this be the first one on the Canadians? And yes, it is. Somebody's going to go, and the U.S. with another opportunity.
I think it's going to be Bridges here on a slashing. And as we see the call coming across, and he's right there on it, the Canadian official. And Bridges will go to the penalty box, and that's what you don't want to see for the Canadians, is ill discipline now starting to set in because they're frustrated. And the best way to explain the way this game has gone so far is we watch this from Bridges as he just gets the effort. It's the second one there, and it's kind of almost like a spear, really. But it's like two boxers, and there's the jabbing from the Canadians, with the Americans, though, have the right cross going. And the jab is not doing enough to win the rounds. And the Americans, who have been stronger at both ends of the rink, now have an opportunity to extend their lead.
Look at that craft, the Canadians having fun when they're on camera, but there's a lot of tension, and frankly, there has to be a bit of disbelief. They can't believe what they're seeing.
And I think that's a fair comment to make, because coming into this game, and I'm going to make an interesting fact about the Olympic tournament and some of the trends and patterns of winning the gold medal in that tournament. Since the NHL players have been involved, this will let the American power play develop.
Farmer, he's in. And they've blown the whistle. Continue.
But since the the NHL players have been involved in the Olympic Games since 1998, no team that goes undefeated in the group stages goes on to win the gold medal.
That's incredible.
And so what it says to me is that there is a point of adversity that the teams have to face in those group stages where they consolidate and they determine that they really want to win and that they really do desperately want to get a gold medal. And Canada have gone through undefeated. The Americans were beaten and the Russians were beaten. And they both now look as though they're going to be moving towards that gold medal game. unless the Canadians can really turn this hockey game
Power
around.
play for the U.S. continues. Brody Roybal looking around. Oh, that was Declan Farmer, 4 and 6, look a little alike. Now Landeros with a head of steam. Has Roybal to his left, lets it go. Brody Roybal to Pauls, lets it go twice, and 2 huge saves. Corbin Watson now living up to the billing.
Tremendous save indeed for Corbin Watson. He cannot afford to let in another one if his team is going to have any opportunity of getting back in this one. But Pauls, who is the goal scorer of the third one, is again knocking on the door on the American power play, and he needs to be picked up by one of these Canadian defenders sooner than that.
So, minute to go on the power play. The U.S. still in command. Pauls and Farmer taking on Whitson. Pauls trying to pry it free. And watch Whitson gets it loose, and that'll go all the way down. Brody Roybal to Josh Pauls all the way across. Taylor Chase joins the play now. And they have numbers and they're well set up. Chase holds it, turns it back around. Nice pass from Roybals. And here comes Landeros. He just lets it continue all the way around. And the U.S. is there as well. 20 seconds. 20 seconds on the power play. They continue. Here's a chance for, Landeros a little behind him. It'll take him out. And still cannot handle it cleanly. They're still on the power play. 1 minute to go in the period, less now. And the U.S. with a chance here. Look at the speed. And they have the numbers. Oh, they took it right away from Graham Murray, who was being chased by that man, Josh Pauls. And all hockey players, I think, are superstitious. But how about this? The 21-year-old travels to a hockey game. He never goes anywhere without his Mr. Potato Head doll. Joshua Pauls, the popular plastic children's toy with removable facial features. He says he uses it to intimidate opponents. When I was younger, I was a bit chubbier, and everybody said I looked like Mr. Potato Head. So they, his USA teammates, gave me a Potato Head figure. Now he turns it toward the opponent's locker room in his own locker room. And clearly Mr. Potato Head is staring down the Russians. 1 goal for the Potato Head and 2 for Declan Farmer. And it's 3-0 in the waning seconds. And Steve Cash working on yet another clean sheet. 10 seconds now, winding down. And the USA could not ask for anything more than what they have. And except for maybe one last shot here. Let's see what happens up off the sledge. And so that's the buzzer. From 2-0, starting the period with a power play. And then another power play. The Canadians come up empty. And Josh Pauls converts on a play right after one of the Canadian power plays ended. And here we are, Mr. Potato Head and his teammates leading the Canadians 3-0. And we knew the U.S. was a good team, but the way that Canada has dominated, I don't think anybody would say it would be 3-0 after 2.
Certainly not. You see the head shake of the American coach, Jeff Sauer, who probably is in disbelief equally himself. And they need to go and take stock of this, the Americans, because as much as it's gone well for them, they are a team right now that's playing well enough that they can compete, and they don't need to get ahead of themselves. They've got 15 more minutes in which to play good hockey, but they are in total control of this hockey game, and they need to make certain that each player continues to be focused, continue to maintain their discipline, and to execute the game plan. And regardless of the fact that they've got a 3-0 lead, they need to play the same right to the end, and equally as well, in 2 days' time, they look destined to be going on to play for gold medal. And I don't think you can try and pace yourself when you're in a semifinal. You do have an extra rest day. I think you got to go out and do the job. But you've got to think of defense first, and you've got to make certain that you've got that reinforced structure in front of Cash so that he can go on and have the performance he needs to have. And if you get a chance to go offensively to convert, well, of course you got to go take it. But you're not going to do that at the risk of losing that defensive shape they need to maintain.
And the U.S. does have the 15, 16, and 21-year-old line, but make no mistake, they have plenty of veterans like the Bravo Delta line with the likes of Rico Roman, and there will be the calm, cool heads in the locker room. They're going to say, relax, we haven't done anything yet. We have 15 more minutes to put the Canadians away, because the Canadians are explosive and they can score 3 in a period. I'm not sure they can beat Steve Cash 3 times, but we'll see. The teams are going to try to figure out what they want to come out into the third period with. And right now we're going to take a stretch ourselves. The Zamboni's going to come out and do its business. We'll be back with you in 7 or 8 minutes. Get ready for a third period that the Canadians basically need to turn the rink upside down. See you in a few. Oh, the stars and stripes, and the youth is servicing the United States. Declan Farmer, the 16-year-old, scores the first 2 goals for the U.S. in the first period, and then 21-year-old Josh Pauls gets the third in the second period. Here comes the team in white. They lead at 3-0 on a Canada team that waltzed through the Group A preliminaries, outscoring their opponents 15-1, and appeared every bit the #1 seed and the world champions. But this is not the same United States team that Canada beat 1-0 in that World Championship gold medal game. Declan Farmer, look at that. Yeah, you can't do more than score a couple and have a helper.
He's been outstanding, hasn't he, as he sets up the third one too. And we're still marveling about that second goal from Declan Farmer, because he rolls off the top of the circle in the offensive zone, and it was the type of play that you maybe don't expect the player to shoot from there. But the way he shot it and the manner of his release, his intention, he knew exactly what he was planning to do. Except nobody else in the building, and the goaltender, certainly Corbin Watson, wasn't expecting it either. And he rifled it into a perfect position that was indefensible for the Canadian goaltender. And there's something to be said about a shot like that. It's more than just a goal, isn't it? It actually counts for more, because it says we have a game plan today, and we're capable of executing it. And we might not get many chances, because they've only had such few shots today, and they have made the most of it. They've had 5 shots and 3 goals. And can you believe the shooting percentage of the Americans, how efficient they've been?
Yeah, and it also says to the Canadians, your best keeper may not have given up a goal, but we're scoring at will, and we're scoring on circus shots. And Corbin Watson, again, he's made a couple of other big saves. It could be 5-0. Rico Roman up against Billy Bridges. Bridges just 1 goal in this tournament. He'd like to make it 2 or 3 and try to get his Canadian team back into this. Make no mistake, they have the firepower, but they'll need something pretty quickly, pretty early to get them rolling. And now, again, it's sent out, and here comes Sweeney chasing down Brad Bowden, who lumbers along in mid-ice looking for someone to give it to, and he has Bridges. Philly's only scored 306 career points for the Canadians, an all-time ice sledge hockey record in that nation, and a big hit there from Roman. Took Arsenault out with the shoulder. Schaus wraps it around, and there's Taylor Chase. So the U.S. now, they can sense it, they can smell a gold medal game, and now a play stoppage here as Arsenault took a shot, and Karen looks like he's going off.
Thing for the Americans right now is certainly in these first few minutes of this game, of this third period, they just need to make sure that they don't relent, so they don't allow the Canadians to build up any momentum, that they just maintain their position, their shape. And it was an offside there, incidentally, on the play, as the official not quite happy that the players are there in time. And this is the youth line for the Americans, who need to be responsible at both ends of the rink.
Farmer, and there's Roybal chasing. Goes wide of Cash. Nico Landeros, so reliable. And a chance now for the Canadians as it develops. See, it's right there, but Pauls comes away, and calmly the youngsters come out. There's Declan Farmer. Gets it to Roybal. Pauls is wrapped up, and Declan Farmer back on defense. Back doing the back-checking work. You see Rempel in front, and there's a wicked shot stopped by the Americans. Doesn't even get through to Cash, and now Paul rips it down and around behind Watson. Brody Roybal puts a hit on his man, and Dorian felt that. Paul's back involved. Roybal in, contesting. Rempel coming away with it, or is he? McKee now, the checking line of the U.S., doing what they're supposed to do, just mucking it up. The Canadians unable to really get much going. Landeros is involved now, as is Yohe. And sometimes this game looks a little rough, and there's Adam Page, who has 3 goals in the tournament. He sends it back around, haven't heard much from him. But the period beginning just the way the U.S. would want.
It's a pretty ragged period, but that's exactly what the Americans will want. They want to get in, they want to harass these Canadian defenders and make nothing easy. They don't want to allow them to have any easy plays out of the zone. Again, it's another puck outside of the zone. Force Canada on a delayed offside. Their timing's out. They aren't getting any shape, and here the Americans are again.
And the fan. And now we come back the other way. Back to Westlake. We'll see if he can rip one, but again, the back checking of the U.S. They have 4 and 5 back helping. Billy Bridges flips it in, not on goal. Landeros is everywhere. Back to Roman. Avoids Westlake and comes away and off the wall. And the U.S. chasing.
What they're doing best is they're closing time and space, and they limit that for the Canadians.
Landeros all the way in, and now he'll turn and peel off, trying to get a shot off, but that's almost as good. Eats up time and sets up his teammates. Sweeney now behind. And Roman now will pick up, along with Landeros, who's back. Landeros takes a little run at Arsenault, locking him up. Bridges trying to find something, and instead he finds another American, and that is Paul Schoss. Roman, the Bravo Delta line, doing yeoman's work in this one. Roman again all over the ice, keeping the puck out of harm's way, and the Canadians really unable to get anything going. Yohe has it off the wall, and now Canadians off the wall, and now comes Anthony Gale. He has 6 points, but not much today. Yohe trying to move the puck out, and there's a problem.
Just a hand pass in the offensive zone, and there is this line again. McGregor, Gale, and Delaney, who did so much leading up into this game, and you know, you can't leave it at the doorstep of any particular one line, because you look at the line of Bridges and Bowden and of Westlake, and they're a line to be feared at any level in any game. But right now the Canadians, who are unable to score goals, and as I mentioned, time and space, the Americans just look quicker in thought and action and their movement, and you see the Canadians, they've almost lost a little bit of confidence, and you would do at this point in the game, the scoreline as it is. They're slower to react. And in these battle areas right now, where normally they are victorious, they aren't winning them, and the physicality of the Americans is actually an asset to their advantage, as the Canadian official gives us all a little bit of a wink there, and that passion, as you see from Jen Lee on the American bench, has been there right from the beginning after the first goal from Farmer. And that American bench has just been in a very emotional, a very inspiring place to be throughout the entirety of this match.
No doubt. We mentioned, you know, royalty of ice sledge hockey meeting, and certainly the Canadians have proven that this year, being dominant, winning the 4 Nations, winning the World Championships in 13. But right now, this American team, with the sprinkling of very young players, is playing way beyond their years. And here's Declan Farmer, 2 goals. He's 16. Brody Roybal, 15, giving chase. And there's an opportunity again, and here comes Farmer and Chase. Chase gets it to Pauls, looking for 2, and he fires it off a stick and up, and it stays in the arena.
The interesting thing about both Roybal and Farmer, their youth, obviously 15, 16 years of age, but they started back in 2006, so they've been playing a while. And there's a number of players who are more experienced in this ice sledge hockey tournament who haven't been playing as long as these players, even though they're as young as they are.
Yeah. And you know, you'd expect, oh, there's another opportunity here. That was Taylor Chase putting it near the goal, not on goal. Shots still just 5 shots for the U.S. and they are dominating this game. It's just hard to fathom. And now the scrum along the side, and here comes Declan Farmer again. His teammate Roybal giving chase. It's left. And now you can just see the U.S. gaining confidence. They're turning away. They're not getting caught deep. They're taking the chance if they have it. And Pauls again puts it behind the net. But Farmer will win that race. Declan Farmer with another opportunity as he walks in, and there's Brody Roybal on the doorstep. Watson not giving anything up there.
For the Americans, this performance for all of them is probably one of the pinnacles of sport. As we watch them again here in the offensive zone, and this is Farmer, but when you get every single one of the players on the same page, buying into the roles that they have been given before the tournament, as the coach has instructed them to take, or is asking them to be able to employ and execute, there is nothing really in sport that's much better in team sport than when everybody is on the same page together.
Yep. And you can see that the egos are not a part of this. The puck's being moved around with the proper plays, and Steve Cash, the goalkeeper's getting plenty of help, and he's making the saves he has to make. He, I think, stole maybe 2 goals early, but and the Canadians helping out. Frankly, early in the first period, their best snipers, Westlake, had some chances, and they fired them wide. They didn't even make Cash make a save. And now Sweeney battling, causing the turnovers, causing the Canadians to have to regroup. And again, another chance. We've seen it just barely missing, and those are 2 of their best players. That's Bridges and Westlake.
And the little things making such a difference, don't they? That play, that little sequence between Westlake and Bridges, so disconnected. And whilst it almost looked like something was going to develop, it's a long ways away. And every single player is also a spectator watching this game, sees that inability to make those plays too, and it just helps the Americans rise in confidence.
Yep, Shoss doing his work, comes away, looking around, down and in, and Romans is going to come in, and let's see what happens if Sweeney's able to win the puck, and not quite, but the pressure's there. Romans, Sweeney, and Schaus, Delta Bravo. Again, all veterans of war in Afghanistan, where they gave up so much for their country, and they were each lost in how they were going to approach the rest of their sporting life and life in general, and they've all managed to bond together. And no tougher checking line, I would venture to guess, in the world than those 3. Meantime, Gale coming in, and a chance, but look at that, the body of Nico Landeros, and then players in front, and oh, it's slipping through, and Cash looking around, where is it? He had it under his glove.
We can count on one hand how many shots Cash has had to face in this third period. And with the Canadians desperate to get a goal and get themselves back in this contest, what does that say about the 5 players in front of Cash? And Cash does his job to track this one all the way into his possession. But how hard have the American players in front of him? He's only there. That's not even a shot they're classifying. How hard are they working in front of him? It's incredible.
And if you figure that this Canadian team put 10 goals on the Swedes, they have 10 shots in this game, and that really just speaks to the kind of work that all the Americans are doing. Declan Farmer has 2 goals, and he's working just as hard on the back check. He goes high and off, behind, out of the zone, and it's just a matter of time now. We're under 7 minutes. Roybal with the body. Here comes Farmer, weaving along the blue line. He sends Pauls in. What a maneuver. He got crushed. And yeah, he's going to go off. Declan Farmer comes in to give Dixon a piece of his mind. Paul's paying a price for that shot as he circles around, and he'll go talk some trash at Dixon. Something about, you won't see me in the gold medal game or something.
I'm sure it was, as these players, they're such competitors, and that's Dixon coming across high with the elbowing, and he decides to sit and block our view on that one as the frustration for the Canadians mount. And if they are to concede here on this power play for the Americans, it'll be more than they can stomach to watch.
Power play, Pauls in possession. Look at him maneuver both hands. Puck is still there, and it's still controlled. Landeros at the point, walks in, lets it go. A rocket.
And so well placed. I mean, Corbin Watson, that is exactly where Farmer put his second goal. And Landeros makes the exact same shot. And I don't think he's necessarily thinking there's a weakness there. He just is trying to hit to an opening. But Corbin Watson gets the blocker up this time. But how well placed was that by Landeros?
Farmer, Paul, Roybal. 16, 21, and 15. Taylor Chase will try the other hand, and now I've been so impressed with the work of Josh Paul's, the corner work. Never mind the playmaking and shooting, but he's not afraid to go into the corners and come away with the puck. U.S. set up brilliantly again. Farmer, the playmaker with 2 goals and an assist. And now gives it to Landeros, sets up Chase. And look at them wait and patiently set up Farmer. Walking around, set up perfectly. Gives it to Roybal, and he'll try. Look, there's nobody in front of him, and he lifts it. But Watson keeping his position. Where are the Canadian defenders?
Right now, the Americans in the power play are just really, again, even though they haven't had a chance, they had a couple there to score on the sequence. It's the possession, and it's really interesting to watch as you see this movement right towards goal of Roybal. They elect the Americans to handle the puck with one stick and propel themselves with the other, and that helps them to maintain speed. And they're going around this Canadian defense and just waiting to see which option is going to be their most preferred.
Landeros pirouetting with the puck, and now a chance for Declan Farmer for the hat trick. He won't take it. Back to Landeros. He'll go left-handed, up and over and high. Taylor Chase, and this line is buzzing. Paul's looking for a second goal. Back behind, Taylor Chase, and he's got Brody Roybal right in front. Paul circling. Complete domination on the power play. Declan Farmer gives it into a pile and gets it back and walks away, staying in the zone adroitly. Now he pumps it behind the Canadian net where the 15-year-old Brody Roybal, and this is just puck possession. They're really not even trying to put it on net.
Well, it's just clinical from the Americans. Yes, the Canadians are trying to keep tight, but they can't get to the puck, the Canadians.
Farmer's going to have a shot at a hat trick, and look at Watson. Give him credit. He's kept them in it. And Farmer might like to have that one back as he pretty much shot it into the body.
This is Farmer here finishing, and Corbin Watson this time sees it right into the maple leaf, and he'll freeze that for a whistle. The impressive part, though, although the Canadians were retreating and wanting just to protect the front of goal, even when they did go after the Americans, they weren't going to get to it. And although they had the man advantage, that was men and boys, in the way that the boys of the Americans were playing against the men of Canada as the defensive players. And it is astounding to watch.
4.5 to go in a game that, as it's gone on, even though the United States isn't adding on the scoreboard, the domination is pure. And everybody is stunned. We thought this one had the makings of a possible shootout, and now you see Rico Roman coming in with Sweeney, and it's sitting out there for Landeros, who gives it up. Yohe is, again, this is not on the power play. And it seems the Canadian spirit may have been taken from them.
They look like a team right now that is struggling to find answers, and that's been the case for them all day.
Westlake with a chance. He can shoot the puck. Let's see if he tests Cash. He rips it, not close. And we saw that in the first period when Westlake had chances and they weren't on goal. Sweeney will lug it in. He's got people behind him. He'll go wide. That's controlled again by his teammate. Keeps it in. And there's another nice shot from Anthony Gale, who takes Landeros down. Bowman on it now, and it's just ticking down. U.S. going into the gold medal game against the Russians, a rematch of their final round of the preliminary round when the Russians won 2-1, an electric game. The second goal for the Russians, actually an own goal, poked in by Brody Roybal off of his sledge after Steve Cash made the save. And now the U.S. breaks out. It's Sweeney letting it go and gobbled up by Corbin Watson. Nicely done.
Watson will be feeling good about that, as Sweeney had created his own momentum, and he had the option of another American forward with him, but he elects to hold on to it as he takes it finally and gets the shot. As we watch Sweeney, he's got Arsenault with his back turned to him and into the body of Corbin Watson, and that's another example as we watch Gale, the body contact here, as he and the American Rico Roman running together, but they can't skate backwards, obviously. That isn't a preferred technique in ice sledge hockey. Right. It wouldn't be as effective, and so they try to just match the speed and create the right angle with the back of Arsenault to the attacking Sweeney. Creates a good opportunity for the Americans to get in again, but you see the instruction coming in and how committed that American team is to be listening to the instruction of Jeff Sauer right now.
Yeah.
And look at the Canadian formation. It's not anything like what's going on with their counterparts.
Not very interested, and I'm not sure that Coach Mike Mondon's really feeling like there's much of a message to give right now. But this United States team, right from the jump, after some early scary moments, letting Greg Westlake out alone. From then on, Cash made a couple of saves, and then it was the kids taking over. Declan Farmer, very creative. Josh Paul and his buddy, Mr. Potato Head, facing the Canadian locker room now. On Saturday, of course, Mr. Potato Head will be facing the Russian locker room, and we'll see if it has any effect over in Sochi.
Just so we know, Mr. Potato Head is Mr. Josh Pauls, I think, and he has had a good luck charm working well for him today.
Canadians working to try to at least put one on the board and have some momentum going into their bronze medal game, and the Norwegians are sitting there, and the Norwegians working on that 6th consecutive Paralympics with a medal. They'll be very hungry. It remains to be seen how hungry the Canadians are for bronze after this show. And Darrow gathers it in, and he's content to just kind of sit on it and lock up with Bowden there. A thoroughly dominating performance for the U.S. that surprised all of us. Maybe not them.
That's the point, isn't it? You look at a body of work and you try to determine a pattern, anticipate what's going to happen, and they'll know deep in themselves just how much this game matters to them.
Here comes Sweeney. He's home alone on Watson. And again, Watson has denied 3 or 4 chances. Arsenault going after it with Sweeney. We're getting into it pretty good in the corner. The official eyeing it. We're right about at a minute. And the Canadians playing as feisty as they have all game, maybe more than the whole game. And where was this in period number 1? There's a too many men on the ice. Penalty.
It is going to be against the Americans, and maybe, and I would suspect a little too little, a little too late, as the line change is being detected there by the official, and he comes across to indicate that there will be too many players on the ice, and who the Americans will send across to the box to serve this one is irrelevant. They would love to keep a clean sheet here, and more than anything, what Jeff Sauer would like is he wants his team to finish strong. He wants them to make sure that this isn't a dip at the end where it looks a little bit like they are indifferent. They haven't won the game yet, and the game is 45 minutes, and they must see that body work right through and finish on a high. And that's in order to be ready at the emotional level to compete against the Russians. And the Canadians, this is a chance here to try and get themselves a goal and prepare them for what's likely to be the bronze medal match.
Right. Yeah, the U.S. and the Russians will have the atmosphere that we had here Tuesday. It will be a packed house at Sheba, but now it's the gold and silver on the line, and the first ever Paralympic experience for the Russian ice sledge hockey community, and they're playing for the gold medal. That's impressive. And the U.S., again, trying to become the first team to ever successfully defend the Paralympic gold.
and not only for the Russians in their first Paralympic Games, but to host it.
Yeah.
To host
Yep.
it in your first game. And there's been so much investment in that Russian program that we probably aren't going to see anything like it again as far as the investment to prepare a team for the Paralympics. And a timeout being called here as we prepare for this last minute of play.
So this one winding down, and the U.S. are trying to kill off the penalty, but it's mostly about just seeing this through, start to finish. Goals by Farmer and Pauls. That young line, Farmer 16, Pauls 21. And the guy, again, lost in all this, Steve Cash, and you hear the horn as Cash honing in on another shutout. And just incredible stuff from this American team that took the moment at the end of the Russian game and used the 24 hours to get prepared and be ready to play in the medal.
And that's the key. And that's when you see the test for any team as to whether or not they're going to be able to have the steel necessary to go on and compete for a gold medal. As play continues. Good work again as they battle as we march down on 20 seconds remaining in this match.
Steve Landeros trying to clear away people in front of Cash. The wraparound, the shot here. Bridges shoots, and it's no goal. No, the official's gonna say too much stuff in front, and Steve Cash doing some chattering. And it's all on here, but that was waved off.
It was. Rempel was in the goal crease area.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
I'd say he is.
He's slam dunking himself and Cash at the same time. And this play from Bridges will not count as Rempel is a little too close for comfort in on Steve Cash in the American goal.
Yep. And somewhat comedic scene as he basically moved the goalie deeper into the goal, and then there was some chatter back and forth, and Jeff Sauer will take that and get out of town as soon as possible, and a good day of work tomorrow as they prepare for a rematch with the Russians here. Taylor Chase they're just trying to get it out of their own zone. And there it is. The U.S. coaches shake hands. And there is Steve Cash with yet another Paralympic Games shutout. It's just incredible the work he's done, and truly a tremendous team effort. 1 through 15, everybody played a role in this dominant effort.
He's got a great nickname, hasn't he, Steve Cash Money? And he's proven himself fully worth the price of admission for all of these fans to come and watch this great game between these two, well, absolute giants in the sport of ice sledge hockey. The Canadians coming through those group stages undefeated. The Americans losing that one match against the Russians, and they'll have an opportunity to repeat that particular matchup again, and this time for a gold medal. As Sauer and Mondin shake hands, and Mondin acknowledging equally that the Americans were the better team on the day, and the better team today won.
Yep. And the U.S. with a little bit of payback after being close but not able to take down this tough Canadian team at the Worlds. And it's these two teams, if they played tomorrow, maybe the game's reversed, but clearly the young kids of the United States, with the creativity of Declan Farmer, the ways in which he set up his teammates, and that second goal will still go down as maybe the most spectacular of the whole tournament, just for the creativity and the attempt and where he put it. And 3-0, and now come the Russians, who won 4-0. So 2 days away, and the U.S. acknowledges the crowd at Sheba Arena, and they get to play for the big marbles. again, a chance to repeat as gold medalists, and that's never happened in the history of Paralympic ice sledge hockey. And for the Canadians, you know, you want to come back and you want to come out of here with a bronze medal, and the Norwegians will be a handful.
They certainly will, and it's no secret now about the Norwegians and their consecutive winning of a medal streak through all of the competitions in which ice sledge hockey has appeared in the Paralympics since 1994 in Lillehammer in Norway. And they'll have an opportunity again, and it's a difficult thing to say, but the facts are it's tough when you expect as the #1 seed to maybe be in the gold medal match and you're not there, and in the bronze medal match to have the same appetite for that game as maybe the Norwegians, who weren't maybe expecting to get a gold or a silver to be in that gold game, certainly wanted to be in the hunt for a medal. They will be thirsty, and they will be really searching for an opportunity to keep that streak alive.
And a rematch of the bronze medal game from Vancouver when the Norwegians took the bronze on Canadian ice. So, part of the crowd leaves dejected. Part of the crowd is on cloud 9 here in Sochi, looking ahead to Saturday. We'll see the same teams. Bronze, gold, and silver will be awarded, and the Canadians leaving somewhat shocked. The U.S. behind that man, Declan Farmer's 2 goals, move into the gold medal game again.